Good morning, Moore Elementary students and staff. Today is Friday, March 8th, 2024. We're going to jump right into the jokes for the day, and we have a little bit of a March theme with these jokes. What kind of conversations do leprechauns have? What kind of conversations do leprechauns have? They usually stick with small talk. Got another one for you. How do leprechauns get to the moon? How do leprechauns get to the moon? In a shamrocket. Shamrocket. Third time. What does a leprechaun call a happy man wearing green? What does a leprechaun call a happy man wearing green? Of course, it's a jolly green giant. Jolly green giant. Our quote for the day: someday is not a day of the week. And that is from Janet Daly, an author. Someday is not a day of the week. So when you say someday, think about when you want to do something for real. Congratulations to these classes for their perfect attendance charts. Mrs. Gamal's first grade class, Miss Bacher's second grade class, Mrs. Halverson's second grade class, and Mrs. Anderson's fourth grade class. Great job, keep it up. Reminder that Sunday, we're going to spring forward for daylight savings time. We are going to spring forward for daylight savings time. That means it's going to be darker in the morning, but our nights will have a lot more light after school. Our 5th and 6th grade concert is next Tuesday, March 12th at 6:30. If you remember, Mr. Jacobson said those happen pretty quick, so both grade levels can arrive at the same time. Earlier we talked about the perfect attendance chart. Here we're going to talk about the winners of our attendance battles. We'll start with 6th grade. In 5th place, Miss Maxwell's classroom. In 4th place, Miss Baki's classroom. In 3rd place, Miss Lick's classroom. In 2nd place, Mr. Kellish's classroom. And the 2-time winner in 6th grade goes to Mr. Nelson's classroom. Congratulations. 5th grade. In 5th place, we have a tie, Miss Peters and Mr. Lukenbill's class. In 3rd place, we have Mrs. Anderson's class. In 2nd place, Miss Thor's class. And another 2-time winner goes to Mr. Norvell's class with 94.5% attendance. Nice job. In 4th grade, in 5th place, we have Mrs. Schultz's class. In 4th place, we have Mr. Samuelson's class. In 3rd place, we have Mrs. Anderson's class. And we have a tie, 2 winners in 4th grade, both with 93.1%. Congratulations to Mrs. Nelson's class and Mrs. Westling's class, another 2-time winner with Mrs. Westling's class. 3rd grade, in 5th place, we have Mrs. Erickson's class. In 4th place, we have Mrs. Rumportle's class. They were the winners last time. 3rd place, we have Mrs. Noltz. 2nd place, we have Mrs. Gams. And our winner in 3rd grade is Mrs. Nelson with 93.4% attendance. Nice job. 2nd grade, 5th place, we have Mrs. Joy's class. 4th place, we have Mrs. Mantell's class. 3rd place, we have Miss Bacher's class. In 2nd place, we have Mrs. Hasselfelt. That leaves Mrs. Halverson as the winner in 2nd grade with 93.8% attendance. Great job. Moving on to 1st grade. In 6th place, we have Miss Kep. She was the winner last time, if I remember right. 5th place, we have Miss Donahue. 4th place, we have Miss Harrington. 3rd place, we have Mrs. Rydberg. 2nd place, we have Miss Gamal, and the winner in 1st grade with 93.9% attendance is Miss Hamley's class. Congratulations. And last but not least, our kindergarten. In 6th place, we have Mrs. Miller's class. In 5th place, we have Mrs. Calendar's class. In fourth place, we have Miss Vichelle's class. In third place, we have Mrs. Wren's. In second place, we have Mrs. Verdon. And in first place, I think this is a repeat champion, Mrs. Samuelson's class with 92.9% attendance. Overall, the highest class this time was Mr. Norvell's classroom with the 94.5%. So those classes will get a root beer float party and some extra recess. So keep up the great work. Now it's time for Counselor's Corner.
Good morning, Mustangs. Welcome to Counselor's Corner. It's Miss Ryder.
And Miss B.
And today we are going to talk once again about our little spots of feelings. Like I said last time, sometimes our spots are this size and sometimes they grow to be the size of this chair, right? They're easier to take care of. They're easier to hold when they're this size, right? Especially the uncomfortable feelings like the one we're going to talk about today, our anger spot. All right, we're going to be talking about how to calm our anger spot. All right, so once again, I have a handy dandy poster right here, and I'm going to lead Miss B through this little tapping, breathing technique. Okay, take one more good look at that. There's peaceful spot again. He's our green guy. We want to be in our peaceful spot most of the time, right? We can do a lot of learning when we're in our peaceful spot. All right, here we go. I'm going to go back to my spot. All right, so Miss B is now going to imagine that these 4 fingers have anger spot on them, and she's going to imagine that her thumb has peaceful spot on it, all right? So peaceful spot on her thumb, anger spots on our 4 fingers. And as I read this little poem, Miss B is going to tap her anger spots to her peaceful spot like this, all right? And she's going to do it nice and slow because Miss B's body is probably feeling a really big feeling, and it's going to help to go slower if we're feeling a big uncomfortable feeling. Ready, Miss B?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Count the spots from 1 to 4. Tap, 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 and tap once more. Now fill your lungs with peaceful air and coat your spots with loving care. Very nice. It's important once we tap those spots out that we take a really big deep breath and let it out so we feel so much better after we do our tapping. And that is how to calm your angry spot.
Have a great day, Mustangs.
Next week, we're going to have Larry the Leprechaun in person for our morning announcements. So make sure you tune in then. Make it a great day or not. The choice is always yours. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Miss Kep's first grade classroom.
I pledge